Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brian Frost here, coming at you today in Escape from Tarkov. And today I just wanted to go over some pretty hot discussions that are going on in the Escape from Tarkov community, primarily here over on the subreddit. I thought some of them were pretty interesting and can kind of just shed some light on what's really the big sticking points here in the community, and also maybe you'll be able to learn some tips here that will just help you in your wipe playthrough if you are playing, and just kind of give some tips just to make things maybe a little bit better for yourself, and maybe you'll learn something new. So here we go. Just wanted to start here already on the screen here. Nikita has posted the player activity chart, or just how many people are playing in PvP, which is around 45,000 players concurrently. So that is something to keep in mind. This is concurrent, so not an all-time high or some type of all-time number. To me, that does seem, I mean, I guess that's okay, but it seems like that number is normally higher than that. And I'm sure PvE is drastically higher than PvP, just because there is a very huge audience that is into PvE and just love, not having to worry about cheaters and being able to play the game at their own pace and not have the game wipe. So I totally understand that. So let's kind of see here what people are talking about with the stats here. Last time Nikita dropped the stats was 150k players, but that was probably combined with PvE, which was in April, last wipe, kind of late wipe. So yeah, that's a pretty substantial number, which, yeah, but that probably would include PvE, because if it was late wipe, that's definitely not a very busy time at all for the game. So it probably was late into, being late into the wipe. It was probably for sure combined with PvE. Let's see. Someone here mentioned, I can tell you from people that they've met and spoken to, 3 times the number of people play PvE as PvP. That is crazy. And I definitely can believe that. 45k on PvP. The rest of us is on Arena trying to recover financially, excuse me. Yeah, definitely can see that as well. I think that's important to note, drawing, people from PvP to PvE. And then also, yeah, to Arena, just to try to transfer rubles over. Maybe you're getting crates to transfer over, so that can definitely dial back the player count as well with just how difficult the wipe is. Let's see. We have 45k in PvP 3 weeks into the wipe. Wasn't the last ban wave 1 to 2 months ago like 10k accounts? Ooh, so that's pretty close to, based off the numbers here, guys, that's almost a 1 in 4 players, if they were all caught as well, were cheating, just based off of these numbers here, which that doesn't look too good. I mean, who really knows, right? Who really knows? But that's not good at all. Another thing, too, about the cheating thing, I don't really want to go down the cheat route too much, but there probably are a lot of cheaters. Like, you have to think, there's probably a lot of people that use, like, radar, or it's ESP, whatever it's called. Like, all because someone isn't aimbotting, all because someone isn't doing that, instant headshot, shooting through bushes, all those things, doesn't mean that they're not using some type of radar, and they just will know where you're at and just kind of, like, play normally, and then they just have an advantage because they know where you are and they can path correctly. And if they see you're coming a certain way, they can, like, rat in a certain spot and know how to get you. And honestly, you would almost never know, right? Like, because it's not an aimbot. And if they're a good player, they have a good shot. I mean, it really makes you wonder how many people are not aimbotting and being so obvious about cheating and just using something like a radar. So that's something to consider. 45k seems low for 3 weeks and a weekend. Doesn't seem low. It is low. People don't want to play where everyone is cheating. I will say again, like I've mentioned before in numerous videos, this is the first wipe ever that I've played, especially this early on, where I have encountered so many sus just encounters, and seeing the profile, their last achievement's Killer 7, and yeah, they have like 40% survival rate and a 10 KD or 15 KD or something with like 100 hours, 200 hours. It's like, You're just not doing that. I mean, come on now. For reference, Team Fortress 2 is at 55k concurrent players. Wow. And then, yeah, another little shout out here to Old School RuneScape. To any of you who are watching this who are old school RuneScape fans, such as myself, grew up playing that game. That has over 200,000 people playing it. Wow. That is crazy. I know Old School RuneScape's popping off, and good for that game. Good for that game. So that leads me into the next topic here, where we're talking about healing and just kind of the problem with rubles and money in the wipe. So basically, this user here is talking about how healing through therapist, when you die in a raid and then you can auto heal with rubles, it's just way too expensive and too punishing. And I will say it definitely does eat into your money, and if you don't know how to circumvent this and some other way of healing, then it definitely will eat into your cash flow, your cash stash, and it will just feel bad, right? So there's actually a lot of good comments here in this thread. Basically, what people are calling out here is, let's see, from Herd of Poros, you should never pay therapists to heal other than the breaks and the bleeds, because yes, if you do just do like your heavy bleeds, your light bleeds, and fractures, it'll only be like 4,000 per status effect, so you may pay like 4,000 to 8,000 rubles to heal your status effects. And then you can buy 2 car medical kits, which those are 19,000 each, so you're almost at 40,000 total cost. And then you use those to heal when you get out of raid, right? And then if you buy 2 Esmarks, which are the red fruit roll-up looking tourniquets, you can turn those into Salewas. So then you get a brand new Salewa, which is 60,000 rubles if you buy it from Therapist. And you get that while also healing from a prior raid with those car med kits. And I will say too, if you want an extra tip, you can get those tourniquets from Fence for half the cost than you would spend at Therapist. So if you want to save money on the tourniquets, you can get a 2-for-1 basically if you buy them from Fence as opposed to Therapist. They're about 3,800 each, and Therapist sells them for like 7k each. So that is a good way to, you're still having to spend money, of course, but it's almost like a 2-for-1 deal. Like you're healing from a raid, and then you're also going to get a Salewa from it, which Salewas, if you pay with cash, they're like 60,000 each. So extremely expensive, right? So yeah, I think a common theme in this wipe is you have to get more familiar with barters, and you really need to take advantage of those, and also seeing what you can craft. So if something's ever a sticking point for you, whether it's heals or whatever the case is, just see if there are any barters, see if there are any crafts that can just help you, and where you can like double dip into things. And just remember, when you are crafting, if an item is required and it has uses to it, you can use it down to like 1 use. And like, for instance, a water bottle, you can use a water bottle down to 1 use and then put it in your water collector and basically refill that water bottle to 60 out of 60 instead of like using the entire item and it gets deleted. So you'll want to utilize that. For instance, with the car med kits, you will use the car med kits, but don't use it all the way, just get it low, and then use the other car med kit and then turn those in to Salewas. So that's what you want to do with these items and with these crafts. You just want to utilize those methods, and it'll take you a long way. All right, guys, here I am in game. Just really quick, I did want to go ahead and show you some of those crafts and the barters that can really help you out in terms of healing costs in this case. So as you can see here in my med station, only level 1. A Salewa is 2 car med kits and 2 tourniquets. So if I look at car med kits, they are 19,000 a pop. So you get 2 of those. And then 2 tourniquets, I'll go ahead and show you right now. If I go to Fence, look right here in Fence, most of the time, sometimes not, most of the time, there will be tourniquets in here, almost all the time. And if you wait to refresh the Fence store, usually some will pop in here, but you know, sometimes you may get unlucky, right? And you would just go buy them over here from Therapist, which I'm unlucky at the time of this recording. So you would get 2 of these bad boys, come over here, craft the Salewa, which is 60,000 rubles, as you can see. And then, yeah, so again, look at these barters, guys. You really need to utilize these. Look, one paid little can of spray here is a full 60,000 Salewa. So just prioritize these items. Again, utilize the wish list feature here. Go ahead and mark it down. What I've been doing is if it is a more important item or a more just immediate thing I need, instead of just leaving everything as a hideout, you know, a hideout wish list item, I will specifically mark it with this star or any of these icons. And I know, I'm like, hey, I purposefully marked this differently. So I really need to prioritize this when in raid, right? Because it's too hard to just memorize all these crafts, all these items you need in raid. So that's what I do with the wishlist system, just to make it a little bit easier, so you guys can utilize that as well. And again, one more thing I'll show you when I was talking about the water bottle situation. So as you can see here, if I was going to just get more energy and get my hydration up before going into another raid, you could just use, instead of using use all, you would just use, take it down, you know, one under or whatever, or a couple under if you want to be safe, because some items they do use a little more than others, especially if you're in raid, which is just weird. That's probably an animation thing. You would use this, so boom. So look, now I'm 1 out of 60, right? Go to my hideout, go to my water collector, and then look. So now I can still use that 1 out of 60 as opposed to just using it all. And then look, now I'm throwing it back in. I'll get a brand new water bottle, and I'm spending 0. You know, I'm not spending anything at all. And I will always be able to just keep on drinking and drinking and drinking and not wasting rubles on it. So make sure you guys are doing that. So guys, I see the video is getting a little long here. So I found this last post on the subreddit that I thought was kind of interesting and stuck out a little bit here. So someone has obtained 100 million rubles in the hardcore wipe, and this was from 3 days ago. He's doing like an ask me anything little post here, and that's just insane, getting 100 million rubles in the hardcore wipe. And as you can see, he has 53,000 euros. His USD is pretty low, and just it looks like a ton of ammo. It's just insane. That is insane. So we can really see what people are talking about. We already have some people making some quick and easy jokes. Why can't you afford an ammo box? and him saying he still doesn't have the barter and he hates arena. That's very fair. You have all the money, but no one sells you an ammo box for it. True. Okay, guys, here we are. I had to scroll down here to find the comment I was looking for. So basically, I was scrolling through just to kind of see what exactly he was doing, and my suspicions were right. Basically, he's just grinding Streets of Tarkov and getting the Tarbank key. So if you guys don't know, there is a Tarbank safe key, or like a door key. I forgot the specific name of the key, but it just says Tarbank on the key. And basically, there are 2 rooms that you can loot right across from Lexos on Streets of Tarkov. And there are 2 registers and 2 safes, one in each of the rooms respectively. And they just print tons. They're like full. Every single slot almost is full of cash, and you could just get so much money from that. Like probably almost $500,000, give or take, just from looting those 2 rooms. And that's just insane, right? So if you survive that, you're getting so much money. And then if you go through and say Kaban's up, you take out Kaban, you get the Lexos section key, you loot the guards really quick, get some good ammo. You know, some good gear like Koruns or anything like that, and so you're just, you know, sitting pretty whenever you get all those items. And if you just keep rinsing and repeating that, that is honestly one of the best ways to make money. I've looted, my duo and we've looted hundreds of cabinets on Streets at this point. Have not found the Tarbank key. Not sure why. It seems like people are finding the key up, down, left, and right, and I've never had a problem finding the key before, but it's just avoiding me, right? Because I've been really wanting to make some money on the hardcore wipe, and this seems definitely like probably the easiest and best method is just Streets of Tarkov. It's just so many cabinets, which cabinet loot is just insane. On top of that, if you get the Tarbank key, you get those registers that are have just so much cash in them. And then yeah, if Kaban or Colin are up and you can farm them, and then just get out, I mean, that's just going to help you print. You're going to print ammo, you're going to print armor, and you're going to print rubles. So honestly, guys, that's really the best strat if you need to make rubles and get ammo and get gear along the way. All right, guys, I think that about wraps it up for this video. Just wanted to go ahead and do a quick one here on what's kind of been trending on the Tarkov subreddit, and then also just give you guys some pointers and some tips to kind of make your hardcore wipe a little bit easier, and some things just to kind of pay attention to and make it a little bit easier to figure out what items to really pick up and prioritize. And then also just how we reviewed over, you know, with streets being such a cash cow of a map, given just how picky looting has to be to make any type of substantial gain in this wipe, and it's just ridiculous. The balancing definitely needs to be redone. So let me know your thoughts below. Let me know if you are still playing the wipe. Is it going well for you, or are you pretty much tapped out at this point and you're just kind of watching it from afar? Totally understand. You know, just go ahead and wait for 1.0 or wait for this shoreline event to release, and then just, you know, probably give it a chance then. But anyway, guys, been rambling a little bit too long here, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, take care, guys.